G'day guys, in this video I'm just going to go through a shower install slash hot water install. Depending on the season and the weather and the travel destination, it will depend on whether you actually need a hot water system or not. So basically I'll be installing a permanent fixture, which will be a water inlet with a water pump and a shower hose obviously, and then secondary to that will be for colder environments. You'll carry around a hot water system and it'll just be integrating the two together. It really is the one system, just broken up into two different arrangements. I'll be going through Joolca Hottap V2 versus the Smarttek Black in a bit of a comparison between the two for those that are looking to purchase, and I'll include the Kickass unit in there just as another comparison point. I'll also show you the mounting for when you're actually going on a trip with just a shower head, the weights and costs of that, as well as the full winter setup with the hot water system and the weights and costs for that. I'll be going through the operation of both, just doing a really quick test on both, just a quick run through of how each different system works. I will be going through the mounting of the hot water system, but for me that is as simple as it gets. You can see it there behind me. It's basically just hanging on an S-shaped hook. So what I've bought is the Smarttek Black with the 6 litre per minute pump. So this is the unit here. You've got a summer and a winter mode that'll switch between 2 gas burners and 6. Control your water flow, minimum 2, maximum 6 litres per minute with the 6 litre per minute pump. And then you've got your gas, max and min. Controls the heat obviously. It's ignited by batteries on the bottom here. And you have your water in, water out. Now I've attached some quick connects here. The gas quick connect does not come with this. This is an added extra, but I've done it up with spanners and everything, so it's on there for good. This weighs about 5.5 kilos with the batteries in and nothing else. On the bottom you have your gas in, water out, water in. Now I've bought the gas quick connect, makes everything a lot easier. The water inlet also has a quick connect on it at the moment. Shower hose, there is off, and there are 2 positions for different spray patterns, which we'll have a look at later. Comes with a 2 metre shower hose, which I don't like. It should just come with a 5 metre shower hose. So it's just another accessory that I had to buy. Pump, I've attached the quick connects for the water on there. These 2 hoses with 3 quick connects, and the 4th end is what I'll be dropping into a jerry can. I didn't buy the filter attachment because I'm just planning on using clean water straight into a jerry can. I don't plan on using river water at this stage. LCC 27 gas hose, 1.5 metres with a regulator. Power cable for the pump with alligator clips. Another thing that I don't like, I'll be chopping these off. In my case, I'm going to change it to a 6 socket because I've got a 6 socket point in the car already. They do sell another cable pack for $50. That comes with Anderson plugs and 6 sockets, but don't waste your money, just make one up yourself. It'll only cost you a couple bucks to buy a SIG plug. There is a switch in line here. So I won't actually be using the included gas hose because I have smaller gas bottles. I've got a different regulator to put on and this 1.8 metre gas hose here. I bought the 5 metre shower head for a number of reasons. It's just better in basically every way except it weighs more. A quick disconnect for the shower. So you can see there we've got that 5 metre hose we can run anywhere. I will be removing this shower awning off the car, and the reason being is it is too limiting. I don't want to buy roof bars and put it in front of the car. I don't want it here because I can't get in here where all my electrical connections are and stuff. It's just too much of a hassle. So remove the weight, remove the wind resistance as well. I've bought an Ensuite tent which is about the same weight, but the difference is I don't have to carry it around all of the time, and getting rid of that as wind resistance is also very, very helpful. The other positive with that is the flexibility of an Ensuite tent. I can get it further away from the car so I don't have puddles of water if I'm having a shower or something. I can get the water a little bit further away from the car, whereas this, it's always going to be right near the car. It's going to be wet ground. I regret purchasing that. I think the idea behind it is kind of stupid. Be good on a camper trailer maybe, but on the car, the flexibility of the Ensuite tent is a lot better. So the reason that I bought it, I was comparing the Joolca Hottap V2 and the Smarttek Black, and to be honest I did not have a preference, but I went into Tent World to buy some other stuff and that was on special, and I wanted something that I could take home that day. So I'll get into a bit more detail next in the comparison section, but I'm not going to say that I did lots of research and found that this was better. I had done research and I had narrowed it down to the final two, which was the Hottap V2 and the Smarttek Black, but I didn't actually think that one was a standout above the other. However, in saying that, we'll go through a comparison just to see where they differ. Alright guys, so I'm just going to compare the Joolca Hottap V2 with the Smarttek Black, which is what I've got, and the Kickass for a little bit of a cheaper option, although the comparison stops short with the Kickass because they don't actually offer as many accessories, so it's just sort of a partial comparison with that. But the main thing we're comparing is the Joolca Hottap V2 and the Smarttek Black, not the Smarttek Lite, Smarttek Black. So I'll just jump in and out of the computer screen here just to discuss what we're looking at. So here I've made up a little table. We've got the price. Smarttek Black 6 litres per minute is $419. Obviously I got it cheaper than that, but that's the advertised price. The Joolca, this is the outing kit, which is $579. Now you need the outing kit to get the pump included, which makes it the same as the Smarttek Black. Now the Kickass is $199, but if you need the 6 litre per minute pump, add $49. $248 total, so you can see you're getting a lot cheaper there with the Kickass unit. So at the moment it looks like the Smarttek is winning because it's cheaper, but it's not as simple as that. The Smarttek Black, they advertise as being 5 kilos. That's not true at all. It is not 5 kilos. I've weighed it, it is 5.35 kilos. Once you put the batteries in, it is about 5.5 kilos. We'll go through the weights in a bit more detail later, but that is completely false. I really wish they'd just put the true weight of what it is, because it's not a guessing game, it's just a fact. It weighs something, it's a number that you measure. So I don't know why they put 5 kilos, but if the Joolca is 4.3 kilos as advertised, then that is a full kilogram lighter than the Smarttek unit, which is a major positive. Now the Kickass is advertised as 5.3, which is good because I feel like it is probably a lot closer to what it actually weighs. Dimensions, they're all pretty similar. The Smarttek is the shortest at 440 high, 300 wide, 150 deep. The Joolca 450, basically the same, not as wide, but it is a bit deeper. And then the Kickass is a lot taller, well, comparatively, 300 and 150. Pumps, I've chosen 6 litre per minute pumps across the board here, just to match it with the Joolca. I haven't got the minimums there, but the Joolca is 2.5 to 6. The Smarttek Black is 2 to 6. The Kickass, I actually do not know. Now the pumps are all 6 litres per minute, but they're not all equal. The Kickass one is a little bit worse. Needs to be oriented a certain way for correct flow. So they recommend mounting horizontally to aid the self-priming feature. You can do it vertically, but only with the motor to the top, whereas the other pumps will go in any orientation. And with the Kickass pump, it says they can be run dry for short periods of time without damage, whereas the other two pumps, the Joolca and the Smarttek, advertise that they can be run dry without damage, I think because they are brushless from memory. There you can see the Joolca runs dry without damage, and the Smarttek is the same. Now just another note on the pumps, if you want to go with the 6 litre pump from Smarttek instead of the 4.3 litre per minute pump, that will allow you to increase the hose size. From the included 8mm internal diameter, you can up that to your standard 12mm garden hose, so you can get a bit more creative with how long your hose runs are and stuff like that. It's a bit easier to find accessories. That is 12mm, so if you go with the 6 litre per minute pump, you can use 12mm garden hose with that. And the Smarttek pump goes in any orientation, doesn't matter, it'll still self-prime. So pump power, included cables for the pump. We get 2.5 meters of included cable with the Smarttek Black, and it comes with alligator clips and an inline switch. I personally don't like the alligator clips. I'll be chopping that and changing it to a 6-socket. I don't want to have to clip onto a battery every time. I'd rather just plug it in. Joolca unit comes with a 5-meter cord, a lot longer, and it has a 6-socket already attached, which to me is a lot more useful. The Kickass unit, no pump power is included. Pump draw, they're all the same, 6 amps, 5.8 and 6 amps, and that's the maximum obviously. For the gas hoses, I do believe that they all come with LC227 now. Definitely the Smarttek, I've got the Smarttek one. It is the new design hose, 1.5 meters on the Smarttek Black, 1.2 on the Joolca, 1.2 on the Kickass. Shower head spray patterns. So to me this is a non-issue, you only really need one good pattern. The others are kind of irrelevant, but you got 2 patterns, 2 patterns and 3 patterns. Now with the shower hose, this is where the Smarttek really annoys me, is because it comes with a 2-meter shower hose, which I honestly believe is basically useless. You can't really get it anywhere, you can't get it far away from the unit, and you can't get it far away from the car if you're mounting a more permanent fixture. The Joolca comes with a 5-meter hose, so way better, and the Kickass comes with a 3-meter shower hose, which to me, 3 meters should be the base. It's very handy, that extra meter of length. 2 meters is only about as tall as a person is, it's not a good hose length. So with the pump hoses, we have a 2-meter hose in and a 2-meter hose out on the off-grid plumbing unit, which is kind of difficult to find right down the bottom of the web page. And that also comes with the filter, so that's included in the off-grid kit. The Smarttek also comes with two 2-meter hoses. Now the maximum temperature rise above ambient is advertised as the Smarttek Black as being 42 degrees Celsius above ambient, and it will cap out between 50 and 55. All three of these have a safety feature where they will cut off at about 50 to 55 degrees Celsius. The Joolca advertises as 35 degrees Celsius above ambient temperature of the water, and the Kickass unit apparently is 25 degrees Celsius. The appliance is designed to raise the outlet water temperature by a maximum average of 25 degrees Celsius above the source water temperature. That is where I got that from, 25, 35 and 42. Now obviously this will only be achieved with the slowest water rate and the maximum burners engaged on the maximum setting. So for the Kickass and the Smarttek, it will have to be in winter mode with highest gas and lowest water flow. Now the minimum water pressures that they will ignite at, Smarttek Black is only 25 kPa, 70 kPa for the Joolca, so more than double, 30 kPa for the Kickass. Maximum water pressures that they can handle, 1500 kPa for the Smarttek Black. Apparently that is double mains water pressure. The Joolca is rated at 900 and 1000 for the Kickass unit. Injector sizes, they're basically the same, 0.61mm, Kickass a little bit smaller. Gas usage in winter and summer mode here on the Smarttek Black. Joolca doesn't have a summer mode, and they're just advertising the normal rate here. Obviously it can go lower than that, and the Kickass the same. Now the warranties is interesting. 3 years on the Smarttek Black for manufacturing defects, 12 months for the accessories. 2 years on the Joolca, now only 1 year on the Kickass. So now obviously this is a bit of a cheaper unit given the price and everything, and you get less warranty on that as well. The other thing to note with the Kickass is order the pump separately, but you also need to order your pump hoses separately. Basically you need to order everything separately with the Kickass because it comes with gas hose and a shower hose, and that is it. They don't advertise quick connect packs or anything, but I'm sure you can make something up with normal hose attachments. So after the warranties, we've got carry bags, $69.95 and $89. The Kickass do not provide anything. So here is the Smarttek carry bag. Obviously the unit goes in the bottom, and then all your accessories can go in this top section, and it provides a lot of padding. The Joolca bag is very similar, except everything is in the one compartment instead of having a separate lid compartment and a main compartment. So basically the exact same thing. So the Kickass unit, the accessories are lacking, all your quick connects, extra hoses, all your bags and stands and all that sort of stuff. Doesn't really seem to be anything. It's kind of just the unit that's provided, and then you make it work with whatever you've got. So with the Joolca outing kit, it actually comes with a water filter, which does not come with the Smarttek, the gas quick connect, the shower quick connect, a 5-meter shower hose, a stand and a shower rose mount as well. This is the stand here. It's just 2 lightweight feet. The quick connects are included. This hose here is 5 meters, which is a lot more handy than the 2-meter hose that comes with the Smarttek. This here is a magnetic adapter. You've got a filter with a sinker, and all this is included in the pump kit. So there's a closer look at it there. This is the pump kit, filter, sinker, and this is the other portion of it. So it is a magnetic eyelet mounting bracket. So you can see the Joolca kit comes with a lot more. So if you're looking at that, you'd think the Joolca is a much better bargain buy. It comes with the shower rose holder. You got 5 meters of shower hose instead of 2 meters. You got your filter kit already included in there. You got some lightweight stands that you can use. They just set it up anywhere instead of having to buy another accessory. So once we add all those accessories up, a carry bag, and then we add a water filter, gas quick connect, shower holder, stand, and a 5-meter hose. So it has equal features to the Joolca outing kit. We've got a total of $743.65 against $668. So you might be thinking that the Joolca is the better way to go because you get all of that stuff for cheaper and it weighs 1 kilo less. If it is actually 4.3 kilos, I've never weighed one. Now, however, I don't think it's as simple as that because with the Smarttek Black, you can actually save a lot of money for all these things that you don't actually want. You don't have to purchase them. I do like the fact that Joolca in the outing kit give you everything you could possibly need and is really handy pack to have with the correct length hoses and stuff like that. Whereas the Smarttek Black, there's no quick connects and a 2-meter shower hose. My 2 main gripes. The quick connects, I think everyone wants quick connects, so you may as well just include it in the pack. And the 2 metre shower hose, for me personally, I just see it as useless because it won't reach the other side of the car if you're doing dishes, or it just doesn't get anywhere. But if we take a closer look at some of these things that are included with the Joolca, suction rose for the Smarttek is an added extra, but in my opinion this is a much better design because it is a suction holder. You can use it on not only metal, but you can also attach that to aluminium, like this canopy for example. That magnetic holder would not work because this is aluminium, as well as being able to attach it to plastic or possibly wooden timbers depending on the finish. The suction holder here, in my opinion, is a lot better than the one provided by Joolca, which is just this small clip here, which is magnetic, and then I guess you could stick a hook through there, maybe hook it off something, but I don't think it's as well featured. Now in terms of stands, there is the included feet that I showed you before. These feet here come with the Joolca, and to me that is perfect because they're lightweight and they're nice and easy to set up, but you don't mind carrying that weight around. The tripod stand from Smarttek is better. It raises it to a better height, it's sturdier, it's stronger, and it actually only weighs 1.44 kilos, but it does take longer to set up. It is more cumbersome to carry around, it's still 1.5 kilos compared to those plastic feet probably only weigh half a kilo or so. So again, it's not really apples for apples, but it is awesome that Joolca include these stands because that is a handy thing to have. So some of those accessories aren't really comparable. They are a little bit different in terms of quality and function. And the other thing is, although once you add all those accessories to the Smarttek Black, it comes out more expensive, the fact is you might not need all those accessories. So if we look at the true cost, so what I got, I haven't actually bought the bag yet, but if I was to buy the bag, which I think I will, with the 5 metre shower hose, which I have bought, quick connector for gas and water, and keeping in mind I didn't pay $419, I got it for $349. My total cost was only $464 as opposed to paying $579 if I was to go with the Joolca. And the reason I went with the outing kit is because that is cheaper than buying the accessories separately. So in the end, it actually works out cheaper depending on what accessories you need to go with the Smarttek. So I guess in summary, if you want everything that the Joolca comes with, buying that kit is cheaper, and if it is truly 4.3 kilos, you save yourself a whole kilo of weight. On the flip side, the Smarttek, you'll probably see it on special somewhere, and you might not want all the accessories that come with the Joolca. So in that case, you can pick and choose what accessories you take. It'll actually work out a lot cheaper than the Joolca, and although it is at least 1 kilo heavier, if not more, you get an extra year on the warranty. You have a summer and a winter mode. It can handle more maximum water pressure and allegedly has a higher water temperature rise between 35 and 42. So looking at just the numbers, you could say that Smarttek is more featured, and it does come with the extra warranty and everything, which kind of backs up that high quality feel that it's going for, but at the expense of more weight, and you will have to buy some accessories separately to try and get it to work how you want it to work. So that's kind of it. Not really one's better than the other. I don't think one is better than the other. They probably suit different types of people, and it really comes down to what sort of accessories you want, or whether you want the summer and winter mode with the higher pressure rating and the lower minimum pressure, the winter and summer mode, or you want to save a kilo of weight, which is not insignificant. And I guess it's really going to depend on the person. I went with the Smarttek Black basically because I could grab it in person and it was on special. I got all the accessories I needed for cheaper than it would have cost me to get the Joolca Hottap V2. Now with the Kickass, obviously that is a lot cheaper. Just remember, it doesn't come with a pump, doesn't come with hoses, doesn't come with quick connects. They don't even sell quick connects. So you sort of have to piece things together separately. Be careful of how you orient the pump. It can't go in any orientation, and don't let it run dry for too long because it will damage itself. But if you're aware of all this stuff, then you can save yourself a couple $100, and it gets plenty of decent enough reviews as well. Alright guys, for the product weights, I took everything out of the box and weighed each component separately, and that way that just helps me figure out how much I'm carrying in the car at any one time when I take different portions of what comes with a hot water system, depending on whether I'm doing a hot weather or cold weather trip. So all the component weights will be up here, and then you can sort of see how much a setup will weigh for you if you take different components of the kit. So that's the different components of the hot water unit, as well as some other things that I like to buy to make the hot water unit work with my smaller gas bottles, which is a 3/8 inch connection. Also just going to add 26 grams for these shoelace clotheslines I did on the other side of the car. So for the design at its most basic, what we're going to have is 6 litre per minute pump, the power cable which comes with the kit and a switch. These hoses also come with the kit. Now these are hose quick connects for these. Again, all this is included in the kit. Now I have a power source over there. Furthest to the left is a 6 socket. So I'll be changing these out for a 6 socket connection. This is 2.5 meters. So I'm limited to mounting this within 2.5 meters of that 6 socket. This can be mounted in any direction or orientation, it doesn't matter. I am going to mount it up on this shelf somewhere. The hose that goes into your water source, which will be a bucket or a jerry can, that will connect to the pump in, and then the pump out would normally go to the hot water system, but for the summer or when I want to travel light, it's completely unnecessary to lug around the hot water system. So you've got the shower head. Now this does not come in the pack, but I've ordered the quick connect for the shower head. I've also ordered the 5 meter hose. It comes with a 2 meter hose. So basically with the quick connect and the other port on the outlet, I'm able to disconnect and connect like that, or just leave it connected permanently. So then all I do is run that out to a water source, have this accessible somewhere, flick that, and then I run this 5 meter hose out. Good thing about this is it's far enough to get away from the car. It'll reach across the other side to do dishes and stuff like that. If I am using the hot water system to get hot water, this will reach basically anywhere on the car. So the 5 meter hose gives you a lot more freedom. So that is the permanent setup. Now you could easily remove the inlet hose from that permanent setup. I've actually cable tied it in using Corrie to protect it against the aluminium, but it's not hard to disconnect and connect that inlet hose whenever you need to use it. I've just left it hanging there because it doesn't really weigh anything and it just makes things a lot quicker to set up. Now there is a disadvantage to this setup, is because the pump obviously is mounted in your canopy. If you have a leak in the canopy from the pump connections, then everything in the canopy is going to be wet and it is a pain to get that floor dry. On the flip side, the cable is ready to go. It's protected in a pouch. Just got to plug it in. Switch is accessible. It's mounted on this upright. The inlet hose is there, ready to be dropped in a water source. So the pros are the easy setup. The cons are the lack of flexibility, because you can't really move the pump and you can't really move that inlet hose. I could buy some 12mm garden hose because I have a 6 litre per minute pump, and I could actually extend that. I think it can go up to about 10 meters it can pull, and then it can push about 30 meters from memory. So I'll see how this setup goes, hopefully with no leaks in the canopy. So for this first setup, all we add to the permanent fixture is the shower hose attached to the quick connect on the pump. That's basically it. We have a bag to store the shower hose in. Obviously we can't control the water flow without the hot water unit. It'll just be at its maximum 6 litres per minute. But the idea here is that a lot of the time in Australia, in summer or throughout the year up north, you don't need your water to be heated. The water is already too hot and you kind of want to cool down a bit. So removing the hot water system removes weight, and it also keeps the water as cool as possible. It's a lot simpler setup as well. So we'll just jump into some testing. I'll show you how it works. So ordinarily it would be a jerry can where the inlet hose is tied off. The inlet hose would go into the jerry can. The reason I'm using a bucket to show you instead of a jerry can is just so I can spray the water straight back in. I'll just make some sort of pouch up. This is just a quick example, and I'll just keep the 5 metre shower hose in there. Then the other end will get connected to the quick connector. So then we have our power connection to make into the 6 socket. Switch is off at the moment. Now the shower hose is in the off position. Now I've just got a bucket over here just in case the pump drips. Switch on. So the pump is building pressure. And the pump has a cutout switch, so once it reaches pressure, it will cut out. Now we have our 2 spray patterns. I don't know how I missed the bucket, but I did. You can run this pump dry by just pulling the inlet out of the water, Then we can push all the water through the hose before we pack it up. The pump is brushless, it won't damage itself. And that is it. That is the setup at its most simple. You can buy the filter attachment if you want to use water from a river. So we've seen the easy setup, and now with the more involved setup, which does involve obviously gas bottles, hoses, and the hot water unit itself. Now basically what we do is we remove the shower quick connect from the pump and put a normal water quick connect on there. That goes to the hot water system, shower connects to the hot water system. We have gas, these cell batteries ignite it, and then we have hot water. I think most of the time I will be running without this setup, but it is handy to have. So this setup's good, obviously, down south in winter, so definitely worth having. And if I was to go through that setup with the 5-meter shower hose, 6 litre per minute pump, the inlet hose and the shower quick connect, it would have cost me about $270 anyway. So to get the hot water unit, it's not that much more expensive, maybe an extra $150, $160 compared to what it costs you to make that setup separately just by buying the accessories. So very briefly going to go through the operation of this. One thing I want to note is that the quick connect for the water doesn't appear to hold properly for the shower quick connect, even though it will clip on and you'll hear it click. Once you put water through it, it tends to leak and burst. So at the pump, we do need to remove the shower quick connect, the stainless steel version, put that where the shower is going to connect to, and swap it out for the actual plastic one for the outlet hose. Originally I was going to go with a TV bracket that swung out from here, but it's just a lot of work and there's not a lot of space on the back panel of this hot water unit to mount it properly. And in the end, I didn't want to buy the tripod, didn't want to carry around extra weight, so the simplest solution for me was just using an S-hook with the existing hook bracket that comes with the unit. So this is a nice handy spot to hang it because we've got heaps of clearance above. This is where all the heat needs to vent out. We've got clearance on the sides, there's no clearance on the back, but as per the instructions, we don't need clearance on the back, just want 50mm on the sides and 500mm above. So this arrangement through the hinge just keeps it a bit more up off the ground, makes it easier to connect and disconnect. It is basically upright, it's not really going to be an issue. You want to keep it as upright as possible because if it leans forward like that, the flame is not actually hitting all of the water. When it's like that, the flame goes straight up and hits all of the water, so upright, otherwise you won't get the full benefit out of it. So that's just hooked through the jerry can holder. I can hook it through here, and I can hook it through here. I could move one of these across and hook it through there as well. And the only weight I have to carry around is this S-hook. So in this setup, obviously the inlet hose stays the same, it just goes into the jerry can holder again, or in this instance it'll be a bucket. Now from the outlet, instead of using the 5-meter hose, we connect our 2-meter hose from the outlet of the pump to the inlet of the hot water system. So that goes into the far right hand side, and then our shower hose goes into the water outlet. This connection here is a gas connector. So you'll notice this gas hose is not the one that comes with the kit, and that's because I've got a smaller gas bottle. This is a 3/8 inch connector, so I've had to buy a different regulator and an 1800mm hose. So normally I wouldn't have this on the ground. I actually use the ledge of the ute and I normally put it up there, but I've just got it here because we'll do a gas test, so we'll check for leaks. The on-off switch is in the off position at the moment. The batteries are in, that's just a quarter turn. Put the batteries in and then spring load, quarter turn to close. Do up all your joints with a spanner obviously. Dishwash liquid with water, and especially around the joints. And all you're looking for is any bubbling. That is obviously air pushing out of the hose or the joints. Got rid of all the leaks from the gas hose. Gas on minimum, water on minimum. This is the recommended way to ignite it. I've got this set to summer. Switch the unit to on, and then we'll go switch the pump on. Shower head's in the off position. So for draining the unit, I'm just gonna lift the inlet out into the air, pump all the water out of the hoses, disconnect the hoses, and then I'll just let that drain for a couple of minutes before I pack it away. So before we do that, we'll turn the unit off and close the gas. Alright guys, so there's the 3 different setups. I guess you can call the permanent setup, more hassle than it's worth to remove, so it just stays in the car. Then you got basically a 5 metre shower hose connection and maybe a bag to store the hose in. And then we got the winter setup. For that permanent setup, I've basically included the price of the whole unit. Even though I'm not driving around with that, I wouldn't have got the pump and the inlet hoses without paying that price. So we'll just call that added to the build. And the weight of that is basically the pump, the inlet hose, the power cable, 6 socket that I bought, a couple of fuses, 1 spare and 1 in the 6 socket, some nuts and bolts, corrugated tubing, that's the weight of it. And now obviously when we take the easy setup, we just add the 5 metre shower hose with the shower rose attached to it and a bag of some sort to carry it. And when we take the full unit, obviously we include the hot water system. There's that gas hose for the 3/8 inch through the low pressure regulator. We've got that S-shaped hook as well. Now all of these, I'm just showing you the weights and costs now, but it is more of an accessory thing. It's trip specific. Only the permanent weights will be added to the car today, with the corrected weight for the shower awning being removed. Alright, so hopefully that's helped, given you some ideas maybe, helped you decide between a Joolca and the Smarttek Black. I don't think you can go wrong either way. Now we'll just look at the running weights and costs for the build. Thanks for watching. So I'm going to have a few things to buy a cigarette kit to show you, instead of to wherever we want to. I have to tighten all the gas. 8mm insert hose. It'll actually work out a lot. Grading the two together. But I just drip. That's in the off position at the moment.